All right, guys. Next game is going to be our last game. It's also going to be a talk through. So if I oversimplify stuff and I sound like I'm talking to you guys like you're idiots, just know it's because you are idiots. I'm kidding, of course. All right. There's a lot of things that I assume people know. But especially like first time watchers, I might be saying things that they have no idea about or they never heard about. So I'm gonna like over explain just about everything in this next match. So if you're trying to learn more about Stadium overall, especially like the nooks and crannies of it, right? The things that like how things work together, what items do what. We're gonna talk about why I'm picking them and how they interact with my team or with enemies. Just sit back, relax, man. Learn some about Stadium. Prepare for your cranium to enlarge. Diva May synergy is good. That's not bad. You make May work in just about anything. May has so many different kinds of playstyles that you really can play her into just about everything. You just got to know how to shift stuff. She's one of the few heroes in Overwatch where you really can play her in several different ways. Like you can be a brawl, you can be a tank, you can be a poke, you can be, you know, you can be a distraction. You can play in the back lines. You really can do a lot with her, which is kind of why I like her. Like every game's kind of like different for May. Like I get to learn one hero, but I get to learn how to play one hero a bunch of different ways, which is really cool. All right, so this is our talk through. We're looking at the team lineups right now. We have Sigma, God forbid, but we're gonna make this work. Reaper, Kiri, and Ana. The enemy team has Junker Queen, Tracer, May, Kiri, and Lucio. So I'm expecting the enemy team to play very brawly, obviously with Lucio, Kiri, JQ alone, and then on top of that, May. Tracer can play that as well, so a lot of speed. They're probably going to run over a Sigma, is my guess. But we're going to do our best to keep that from happening. So I'm going to try to make sure that I can, especially the JQ, I'm probably going to make sure I pressure the JQ for a little bit. Now, a lot of times I would recommend people go into like a fire hose build and grab extendothermics. I don't think it's necessary if you can play at a higher level. You can just, as long as you can really be in tune with like the distance between you and Junker Queen, that you need to pressure her with your primary to make sure she can't get close to your Sigma. So I'm going to start off with the poke build here. It's one of my favorite builds. You really can go a bunch of different directions with this. After the first round, and I'm actually going to I got rid of plasma. I was trying to get plasma converter. All right, we don't need it. We don't need a third item. We're fine. But we're gonna pressure the JQ. My goal this first fight is to kind of get an idea of what the enemy team's running and how they're running it, but also to just pressure the JQ, keep her off of my Sigma, because Sigma is a very special tank in the fact that he doesn't really get too much to pressure people away from him except for maybe his rock.
Can't see Sigma.
So if I can slow them down a little bit more, we can at least like, I'm gonna try to rotate out with my wall here. Just live. There you go. So they'll probably get first touch here. Again, I want to keep the distance with the JQ. And you can see our Sigma is down pretty quick. There's not much we can do here. And I gotta kind of make sure my Sigma is up if we're gonna take this fight. Massive pool here too. I sleep. Okay, we're gonna chill, wait for our Sigma now.
Sorry, reloader.
Let's look for a little pick here. Solid wall. I'm just trying to force out cooldowns right now. I'll take a pick though, that's fine.
Can't see Sigma.
I'll take the JQ too. We'll push in here a little bit. Get the May. I'm going to wall behind the May, so she has to use her wall to get out, which she'll probably do right now. Or she'll just finish up there. Cool. And then finish up the Lucio. All right, so we got lucky. Obviously, a couple early picks. You know, not much thoughts there. Just hit your shots sometimes. Yo, what's up?
It is real spooky. What up, dog?
I hope it's real spooky. All right, but again, gotta kind of stay on track here. Really just rotating with the JQ wherever she goes and trying to pressure out. We'll deny this. I'm gonna wait it out for a little bit, probably wall myself up, and I'm gonna drop this too just to make sure I can live. Now I might die in the process, but really zone that out there. So don't be afraid to use your freeze, especially defensively. If you find a good opportunity for it, and even if you don't really know if they're down cooldowns, especially in Stadium, I am still kind of an advocate for use your ultimate more aggressively or more frequently. Like, don't hold on to it. A lot of lower elo players, that's like a really strong habit they have, is like waiting for the perfect time, sorry Reaper, to like hit the ultimate, you know? So they'll hold on to it for way too long and they'll just miss opportunities left and right. Good enough is good enough. Like, it's fine. If you end up forcing out like cleanse and stuff like that, or they use beat or whatever, you know, it's gonna happen, but don't be scared. Okay, so Lucio back on. Just need to lock on my aim for a sec. There we go.
Good word.
Let's see if the mage tries to touch here. She does. So I don't think she has freeze. No. There we go. Okay, fantastic first round here too. We brought that back. We can make this work. Make this work. Speed's not been too much of an issue. It seems our Sigma's holding up his own except for that first fight. So if I want to, I can invest a little bit more in some kind of damage. I myself personally am not dying a lot, so I can stay away from the survival tab for now. Again, if that becomes an issue later on, don't be afraid to dive into the survival tab. All right, so let's I wanted to grab Plasma Converter because I'm going to be shooting Junker Queen a lot, and I'm going to constantly be feeding back that health. Since she doesn't have a shield, Plasma Converter is really good because it's just constant self-heal if I'm pressuring the JQ. So that's why I tried to sell that the last round. Obviously, I ran out of time. That happens a lot for some reason. That's just a habit I have. Now, let's just talk about these. Like, even if you're not running with the build, let's talk about why we're picking what we are. So they have speed, right? They have a lot of brawl ability. But again, if we're trying to really focus, it's really Junker Queen and Mei that we're trying to keep off of our Sigma. They're really...
Have your Mei tank build saved in my Mei.
Nice. You like it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, I haven't really used it.
Okay,
since,
I do gotta grab something. Oh shit, I gotta grab something quick. Let's get aftermarket firing, advanced antibiotics, and weapon grease. There we go. That'll be fine. So, let me talk about these real quick. These are just like pretty standard weapon items. Aftermarket firing pin, 10% attack speed, 5% move speed. That 5% move speed, really, really nice for increasing your survivability. Even though it seems like a little bit, I'm telling you, for that price point, it's really good. Just having a little bit more like movement speed helps out a lot. And then advanced antibiotics is 5% weapon power flat. And then when you're healing an ally, you get an extra 10% attack speed for 3 seconds. Now, that does work as long as you are self-healing. So if you have Plasma Converter and you're healing yourself, you're going to get that. Like you can see on my health bar when it's slowly going up. Every time I heal at least 1 HP, I'm going to get 10% extra attack speed for 3 seconds. So it's going to proc a lot. You just have to make sure you have at least some kind of lifesteal, and then it'll proc a lot. I would not grab advanced antibiotics if you did not have lifesteal. So make sure you're just keeping an eye on that. You have to have both to make those work. But it is good value. They're both really good value together. So especially if you're just trying to get some kind of weapon, it's really good for Mei, especially against non-shield tanks, right? If they have shields and you're not able to hit many shots, like you're not doing a lot of damage because the shields are always in the way, you're not going to get the lifesteal and you're not going to proc advanced antibiotics. I'm actually going to do this right now. This is kind of BM, but I want to make sure we get a nice like a nice stagger. You know what I mean? So again, I don't mind solo ulting, especially for those. Forces a lot of stuff out, but it also gets like a nice solid stagger in this next fight. Oh, they think we're rest of us. I'm gonna wall this out. Maybe we can get the Lucio. It's a good isolation wall there. Split up the fight a little bit, make it a little bit more likely that we can win.
Everyone's coming back.
Let's throw another wall just to get some damage out with our iceberg. Yeah, so sometimes they'll try to get like a wall that just puts like a lot of pressure on them. It doesn't need to be a wall that like isolates people, but I know it's going to get a lot of damage. Because a lot of times people like panic. They'll use like some abilities to get out, and then we can actually take a fight after that, which would be really good. So, Yeah, everything else seems pretty good. It's pretty straightforward with Junker Queen. With Mei, I really do just kind of spend a lot of time with primary fire. You'll notice if you guys do watch me play, I usually spend a lot of my time doing poke builds with my right click secondaries and using wall and AP. So this is kind of a really special game because I don't really run this too often. But it's good to explain why we do it. So, all right, freeze is good to go. We'll talk about, we might need a spooky special this, as I call it. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm going to do it anyways. So I talk about you doing this every now and then. This is a great way to zone out objectives. When like somebody needs to touch the point, like the enemy team needs to touch the point, you know they're going to touch it. I like to throw my ult straight up in the air because a lot of times it fakes them out. It makes them wait for a second to make sure they're not getting caught in the freeze. So I toss it up and 1-2 seconds goes by. The people don't realize, they're like, okay, well, freeze isn't on point. So now I can use my abilities on point. I can use my movement on point. And then the freeze comes down and then they're down all their cooldowns. So it's kind of a, I wouldn't say a niche, but it's like if you find that you have freeze and they're going to have to touch the point, like it's either getting close to OT, you're in OT, or it's getting close to the end of the objective where they're going to have to do something. Doing that, it creates a lot of artificial pressure on the team and forces out a lot of cooldowns. Really good. I always have a lot of success with it, like zoning out objectives. You'll see me do it maybe once every few games. So it's not that rare that I don't need to talk about it. It's often enough that it is something that's you should probably add into your like how you play the game sometimes, especially when you're thinking about the meta game of Overwatch and how to play it. All right, so let's talk about our next powers. Right now, we really can go into anything. If I need more survivability, I go Frost Armor. If I want more pressure, I can do Extended Thermics from farther on. I'm actually, personally, I'm going to go into Twice as Ice here. And I'm going to grab Icy Vans. This is going to double my, the blizzards around my wall, the amount of damage. So I get 2 of those walls now, and you can stack them up with your ice block. So you can have like 2 ready to go. You stack those up, it doubles the amount of damage you can do on the ice walls. So I'm living, we're not having too many issues, so I'm just going to keep dumping more into damage, right? I don't need survivability if dying is not a problem for me, so I'll just keep going more glass cannon until I have to switch. Get a good wall here, separate it out, force out the JQ. You see we force that shout out. Let's wait here for a second. I don't use my block to reset my wall just yet. There we go.
Nice, Jesus, here it goes.
There you go. Okay, so like I said, if you ice block while you already have a wall ready to go, like this, you'll have 2 charges of wall ready. So once your first one ends, you'll be able to do another one without having to do the ice block. And I'll show you that in a second. I'm looking for somebody who can get value with that. And I'll let that wall go up for a little bit. And then you see once it's dropped, I have another wall ready to go that I can place. So like right here. Now, a lot of people ask me about like wall placement. Because Mei's wall is really important. It's something, as long as you play the game enough, you'll start to get a feel for it. But using your wall is most effective against people that have low mobility. So I'm not trying to wall off Tracer. I'm not really trying to wall off Lucio unless I find a good opportunity. I'm not trying to wall off Kiri because she can like jump, like just swift step through things. The 2 people on their team that have low mobility I'll get a lot of value. Let's drop this here. Is Junker Queen and Mei. So those are the 2 people I'm looking for. Those are like my guides, right? If you're ever looking for like a good place to throw walls, just start with the person you're trying to wall off, right? So look for your, like for here now, I got 2. We'll pressure this out. She'll probably just die. Actually, I'm going to go up and chase because she's down her cooldowns. Just force these out. Let me get the Lucio. I do have freeze ready to go. There's beat. There you go. That was a weird wall. Did not mean to put that there. Try to get the Tracer. JQ. And now that she's down her Queen ult, she doesn't have her mobility to get out of my freeze, so I don't mind throwing that freeze down on the ground. Now, again, like I said, they very well could have jumped in and Kiri cleansed that moment, especially if Kiri has 2 Zoo. that's gonna happen. Like, especially in Stadium, there's only so much you can track. So that wasn't gonna be the perfect time to throw it, but it was good enough. So like, even if that wouldn't have been like, I would have gotten like a kill on the JQ, I would at least force Kira to use her jump, forced out a Suzu or two, which will get us value. So that's what I mean is like, don't wait for the perfect ult. As long as it's good enough, like, send it. You know, don't be scared. Don't be scared to use these ults. You'll get another one. You can see I'm already at 80% of the next one, so we're fine, and we're already ready to go. And I'm going to do, like I said, Spooky special. Get people off the payload. They know that most likely I threw on the payload. It's going to come back down, and you see, works like a charm. Works like a charm. You see they waited, and then they're like, all right, freeze is on point. They went 2 point, and then they got frozen. Kiri was forced to cleanse. Cool, that stuff, so. Not too bad. Well played, GG. So that was kind of a slam. But we talked a lot about like a lot of good stuff in that pretty early on as far as making decisions. So you can see like kind of having a game plan when you go into the match of like what probably you're going to get most value doing. Just like looking at what your team's playing, what the enemy team's playing. Can give you a really good idea, and then you can obviously adjust as you play the match. You just got to be aware of what's happening, like what's causing you issues, what's really gonna help you win the match. So that's our walkthrough today. I know it's short. I know it was a 3-0, but this was our last match of the day, and I did want to get a video out for you guys. If you have any questions about Stadium or how to make decisions, feel free to let me know below. If you have any tips or advice you like to give to new people, I would also love to hear your advice in the comments. If you want to keep up to date with Stadium, feel free to like, subscribe to the YouTube, or go follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/SpookyShow, where we play Stadium just about daily. And we talk about all the different things that are going on with it. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next Stadium video. Peace.